The Sam Bankman-Fried saga continues as we're finding out internal documents that he joked around about misplacing $50 million and other money in wallets. Those articles, another article on Ripple and what they're doing, as well as we're going to get into some NFTs with the Moonbirds, another big blue chip, and what's happening with them. All today on OJ Crypto and NFTs. Welcome everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in digital assets and non-fungible tokens, NFTs, as well as the blockchain. And we want to go over the latest news that's out there. But before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Now, I want to give you the best news on a daily basis, the most freshest, the ones that most affect the market. We know there's a few things that are happening. It's a green day. Bitcoin just blew up, rolled past $30,000 last night. But every time Bitcoin makes these big jumps, we see a big print on Tether. And it continues to make me suspicious about what is actually going on here. It took, let's just back it up here. 2 years ago, year and a half ago, we all talked about regulation in the crypto market. And we saw that Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful at the time, who was more the darling at that moment, not the SBF villain that he ended up being, he talked about several different senators out there wanting to put up a 2 or 3 page regulatory outlook on stable coins. I thought it was brilliant. We need to know what is backing these stable coins. Is it some kind of investments that have now decreased significantly? What is actually backing them up? Well, the government went after BUSD, which is Binance's stable coin. But why have they kind of left Tether and Circle, which is USDT and USDC, why they left them alone? Why can't we get simple regulations on these coins? Who knows what they're printing? Okay, and they're not really stable if they continue to go up and down off the peg of $1. So this leads a lot of speculation out there. But with that being said, it is a good day for Bitcoin, but we've got to end all this garbage that's happening out there about stable coins and why they print every time we see Bitcoin jump. All right, so let's jump right into it. SBF. Sam Bankman-Fried, so those internal documents that were released here yesterday, and it was released by John Ray, who is the new, call it the CEO of FTX. He took over. He's already made a mention that he wants to go through a thorough audit. He wants to figure out what happened, and then he might want to relaunch the company, which a lot of us are against it. It was just a hub for the blue team in government. It wasn't anything more than that. It looks like actually he might have received a bunch of money that might have been connected to the guy on the island. So we're just not having this fun. But here it is. SBF called Alameda Un audible, joked about losing track of $50 million. He talks about a wallet that they forgot about. There was $50 million of customer funds on it. And now we're finding out that Gary Wang, and here we go, his accomplice here is Singh. It is Nishad Singh. We're finding out that those two guys recoded FTX to make a bridge to get into Alameda, where Alameda can just simply pull customer funds out and just use them for whatever they wanted. So here, I'm going to give J. Connor Grogan on Twitter, I'm going to give him his due here. It looks like, he shows a graph here that when it started in 2018, it looks like it just took them less than a year to go ahead and recode this. It says the blue dot is when Nishad Singh altered the code base to enable Alameda to withdraw unlimited amounts of crypto from FTX. Think about that. So it's basically stealing from one company to the next, and the founder as well as the CEO of both doesn't give a crap. And that's exactly what happened. He is literally taking people's money and funneling them to another company. And I mean, how many laws can you break? Why is this guy on home arrest? I mean, everything that keeps coming out. At one point, they had $3.1 million. And from there, as of what is it, August 1st, 2019, All they did was just go grab their money in the money bag and just keep pulling money out. And everyone has now been talking about all the collapses that happened in 2022. Let's start with Terra Luna, that he had a part of it. We know the big dump of Solana, which he had a ton of it. So did FTX had a ton of it. Alameda had a ton of it, as well as Sam Bankman-Fried. A bunch of investors had it, and they were dumping on the public. They would just give out free, press releases saying how great it was and just dumped all over it. Then we also had the Three Arrows Capital, which then had the domino effect with, where do you go from here? BlockFi. There's just a ton of companies that just fell like dominoes. And look at this. He stole customers' funds, and if you were to look close enough, he took them and he used them to hurt other companies so he could gain market share. Then he took that money that he shorted those companies as they fell and then turned around and funneled it to the Democrats in Congress and in the White House. He was the second largest donor to Joe Biden, but Joe Biden would never even want to meet with him. Why? There's no reason to, because I think all his handlers had already handled all of that. With all that being said, look at what this shows. This shows complete theft. And during this time, all the way through, we had Gary Gensler, head of the SEC, who's Mr. I hate crypto, who's Mr. regulation, who's Mr. everything is a security, didn't say that when he was dealing with SBF. Never said it at all. Never looked at the books. I don't believe it. I think that he was part of the gang that set up the money laundering into the funds of the Democrats for the 2020 and the 2022 elections. That's just my personal opinion. It just shows that he stole money and used it for gain, for whatever he used it, whatever he wanted to gain. And I think that his handlers, including his parents and a lot of high-ranking officials and the U.S. government all had this. We haven't even begun to talk about the money laundering, the funneling into the Ukraine and then back into FTX. That isn't even here. This guy is going to jail, and he's going to jail for a long time if the system in New York, the judicial system in New York, is actually there. Look at the peak. They stole $280 million. They stole $280 million. And like a house of cards, for people who don't know what the hell is going on, the second the market went down, what happened? He went down with the market. Just like what the banks are happening right now, they're going down. We're going to have a huge credit crunch that's coming up because none of the people that are in charge have had any experience on a down market, because the Fed has always kept interest rates low since 2020. Since 2020, actually 2010, 2009, they've kept them low. So money's been flowing into the system. And when you have a hiccup, and I know that we had the whole housing bubble, but when we came out of the housing bubble, boom, it's been this complete cash grab that the Fed has just been printing beyond belief, or has been buying, bonds and stocks and other debt, other corporate debt. All right, so let's get off of that subject. It just shows the corruption here. All right, Warren Buffett, another Mr. Anti-Crypto here, continues to put money into banks where Ripple is involved. He did that with a Brazilian bank that can connect the dot to cryptocurrencies. Look at this. Warren Buffett makes another investment into a Ripple partner. Let's go read this, because this is pretty in depth here. It says, Warren Buffett might be a critic of cryptocurrencies. However, the celebrated, gosh, I am just tongue-tied today. Celebrated investors firm Berkshire Hathaway has increased its stake in a Japanese firm that happens to be a Ripple partner. He knows this. Buffett has increased his stake into 5 Japanese firms, one of which is Sumitomo Corporation. The financial arm of Sumitomo Corporation is Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation. The Mitsui Banking Corporation is part of the SBI Ripple Asia Consortium of banks. The corporation joined the consortium in July 2017. Moreover, Mitsui Banking Corporation owns about 10% of SBI Holdings. SBI Holdings is the largest outside shareholder of Ripple. Come on, guys, connect the dot. Okay, they are preparing for blockchain technology. You heard the head of SBI Holdings, the largest bank in Japan, had said that all the top banks in Japan will be using Ripple and XRP and on-demand liquidity by 2025. He's going into 5 of these firms. This is no coincidence. He sees they have a plan, they're going to execute it, and they're going to cut costs and raise the value of their banks and stock. It makes sense. He sees it. Now, he can sit here all day and say, yeah, he hates cryptocurrencies. Him and Charlie Munger, you know, the Beavis and Butthead of crypto, right? But when it's all said and done, they continue to put money in crypto-friendly companies. Let's be frank about it. All right, what's next after Ethereum Shanghai upgrade? Guys, Shanghai upgrade as well as Ethereum 2.0, it is just exhausting listening to people talk about this. The only thing Shanghai upgrade is going to do is release all the ETH stake, which is going to cause the market to crap. And I think that because we're seeing a big jump today, we're going to see on Wednesday and Thursday an ETH sell-off. Now, will it sell off into Bitcoin or will it sell the entire market down? We're actually gonna see. But I personally think that we'll see an uptick and then we're going to see a complete dive down. I think that we're going to get Ethereum in the 1700s. Right now it's at 1900. So I think we're going to see a 10% drop right around there. And a lot of people here, I think, are going to pull money back into cash and they're going to go other investments. Now, I know a lot of influencers out there saying, oh, we're in the bull run. Guys, it's a 4-year cycle, right? We're in year 2. Anyone yelling bull run today is just a bunch of bull, okay? It's not happening. We haven't even got to the Bitcoin halving, which is actually a year away from now. Our banking crisis, we're having a huge banking crisis and a money crunch here in the United States. And if inflation goes nuts, people need their money. What do they need the money for? To buy goods, gasoline, groceries, pay their bills. We're going to see that go away. And some of these banks and some of these big investment firms, these VCs, have been losing money and are not getting restocked. There's no extra money on the sidelines that people can throw at them. So I see that the second half of this year, especially around the summer, beginning of summer, in the next 60 days, I think that we are starting to go on a downtrend and we're going to see it hit pretty hard. So everyone that celebrated today, I say take profit. It's not financial advice. Take profit. Go ahead, have a beer, have a drink. You know, put it in your bank account, pay off your bills. I can't tell you pay off your credit cards because they're at 25% interest rates. Do what you can to get out of debt. If anyone's watching YouTube, there's nobody that has faith in the US government. All right, next, let's bring on the lovely Emi into our video here. Emi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. Looks like the NFT life is here for you. And again, Mrs. High-End, now it's blue chip. Let's go over what we got here.
Okay, so Moonbirds is one of the blue chip NFTs that we do cover every week on our blue chip roundup. They've been sliding off the charts for the last few weeks. So it's interesting that they're now going to be launching a new collection along with Proof. There's going to be 10,000 pieces coming from 22 different artists, including Beeple. I would say that's the most notable one on the list. Your art image here. Let me see when it's going to be launching.
It's a diamond exhibition.
Yeah, diamond exhibition. Dirty Robot too. So yeah, they have a big list of artists that are going to be added that are doing the artwork for this. Here we go, April 18th. is when they will be dropped a choice pass, which will allow them to rank their preferred artists among the 22 in the collection. After a 4-day voting period, Proof will use a raffle informed by those rankings to airdrop art pieces to all participants day one diamond. It's a pretty interesting concept. I'm curious if this is going to take Moonbirds back up into the higher pricing blue chips. And it's definitely kind of cool to see how these communities are pivoting and who they are working with and how they're staying alive and on the charts.
Well, if we really look at the Moonbirds over the past 3 months, but mostly the last 2 months, they've just slid off the charts. I mean, when Moonbirds 2 came out, they were at 35 ETH. Now they're down to 3.
Yeah.
A little over 3 ETH. You know, and it just doesn't seem like Moonbirds have had any relevance in such a long time. Now we've seen the Cool Cats come out with their stuff. We saw Azuki have their side. We continue to see, I mean, last week we had Yuga Labs come out with the
Codependent?
Yes. So we saw all those happening. I think the Moonbirds just got lonely and wanted this to happen.
Yeah, they needed something to kind of revive them from the dead. So as they announce more on this topic, we will cover that for you. Moving on to our last story here. Can you do that for them?
It says Rolling Stones shy away from using the term NFTs in new projects. Says the negative publicity around NFTs and crypto have galvanized some to drop the word altogether from their marketing efforts.
Yeah, so they're referring to Trump and how Trump did his Trump trading cards instead of Trump NFTs. And I think the Rolling Stones are following in kind of that same path. What they're going to be doing is unveiling 40 photos linked to NFTs that are largely focused on historical moments captured from various tours anywhere between 1960s and 1990s. And the price is going to be between $199 to $50. So it hasn't really shown much regarding like utility, but I think it's interesting that a band of this
stature
is getting into this market space and even trying this.
So what chain are they going on here? NFTs will be put out by global entertainment media and Web3 company of one.
One of.
Yeah. Last month, the marketing of Hollywood's latest vampire starring. You know what? I mean, I hate to say it, but everyone just it's just a money grab. You have these pictures from, 30, 40, 20, 30, 40 years ago. So you slap them on an NFT, you go ahead, put it out there. I don't get why the word NFT is negative. I mean, everyone's going to be into NFTs. This is kind of the joke that we had back in the late 90s where no one wanted to say internet or, and all of a sudden you're like, what idiots said that? You start looking at old film and you're like, that's stupid. So I just think that it's just a narrative right now that's happening. And the Rolling Stones just, it's kind of funny. Go back in the 60s and 70s, and what did they do? They were the radical band that went out there. And then when you get old, you say, well, I don't want to shake the establishment. But back then, Gimme Shelter and all those, Sympathy for the Devil. Oh yeah, I was a rebel back then, right? Come on, Keith Richards, come on.
These are just a bunch of old guys. Don't want to tour very much anymore, but still.
Well, the stadium tour.
That's what it is. But still,
why not, dude? Be a rebel all your life. Don't be a
beep.
When it comes to me, the older I get, I don't want to make anyone mad by using non-fungible tokens, dude. We're past the point of stupidity. Okay.
I hope so.
All right. Well, guys, again, it's been a very long video. If you lasted here all the way to the end, you are a champ. Guys, we appreciate all the love. If you want to leave a comment below and call me an idiot, she'll do it. I guarantee you that much. You guys take care.
Bye.